Hey, it's Benji from the Colorado Sound, and I am super excited. We've got all the members of Bright Eyes joining me for a quick little Zoom chat. Thanks for showing up, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for
Hey,
having us.
hey,
Yeah.
here's the fun part. I mean, two of you are in Omaha, one is in Los Angeles, and I'm here in Denver. So it's we're spread out over the United States, and two out of the four of us have smoke issues that we're dealing with as well. So I'm with you 100%, Nate, as far as if you are feeling congested from the smoke. All right, so I'm going to start out with probably the easiest question. You know, this is the first album from you guys, Down in the Weeds, Where the World Once Was. 9 years ago, you released your last record. Why now? Why did you think 2020 was the pandemic year to release this album and get back together and record together as Bright Eyes once again? What was it that brought you to do this one more time?
Well, I think it was like a couple reasons. One, it was like a sort of a practical reason in the sense of we'd all been working on different projects. Like I've made a bunch of solo records and did a bunch of different projects with other musicians. Mike here produces records for a living. Nate been touring with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and also, he composes and works on records. Mike and Nate together do a lot of film and TV scores. But this is back in like the end of 2017. All of our schedules were opening up a little bit. And I think it was that. And then also just where we were at in our lives. All had been through a lot of life changes, and the idea of making a record again with like our closest friends and doing something that was really comfortable and felt like home. And we've worked together so much and made so many records and toured for so long that we don't, there's a lot that we don't have to explain to ourselves. It's great to have a new collaboration, and it's great to experience a new thing, but there's also something to be said for kind of going back home and having that feeling of solidarity or
Sure.
comfort.
Yeah. So I'm going to steer this kind of follow up towards Mike, because when I think of you, Mike, I always think of you've played on pretty much every damn near Saddle Creek record that ever existed, as far as I can tell. And this is the first record that Bright Eyes has done that's not on Saddle Creek Records. Does that feel weird to you, or what was why did you decide to go to Dead Oceans for this record in particular? What do you?
It doesn't feel weird. It feels like it's about time, and because my role and also Connor's role in Saddle Creek, it's definitely kind of faded over the years. I still have a lot of respect and love for all the people that work there and the artists that are on it. They put out some of my favorite records in the past with us. Our friends, Big, and then more recently like Big Thief and like Hop Along. Anyways, over this like break though, like Connor, honestly, he's put out, I don't know how many, he's been on like 5 labels in between People's Key and this one, and Merge. I'm not going to list them. You can Google it, but from that, I feel like he actually got to experience what other labels are like, and Dead Oceans came up, and I've known them. We've actually known them for a long time. Like Ben and Chris Swanson, the owners of Secretly Group, they put on some of our first. They helped us.
We played their basement.
Yeah, when we were going out to record
in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s. What was the record? Letting Off the Happiness. We were driving to Athens to record with Andy for a group of the songs, and Ben and Chris was like, "Let's set up a show," and me and Connor just played in their basement, and it was fun. Yeah. So that is, Connor had these experiences with other labels and kind of felt like this is a more positive experience than what, or this is just a new experience. And I think that is kind of in keeping with this album, kind of moving on in a way. And it was great to work with a new label and see the kind of enthusiasm and excitement and that they had for this album and for us as a band. Like, I hate to say it, but I feel like it kind of, I didn't get that feeling from Saddle Creek anymore. That response when we turned in a record, I don't know. It wasn't met with the sort of excitement that I felt from Dead Oceans. And I was like, oh shit, this is like what labels are like. You know, they have like kids working on your stuff, excited about the music and wanting to come up. And again, no disrespect to the Saddle Creek people, because they do their process their way. And
it's apples and oranges. I mean, that's just real quick, you know, since I mentioned you're in Omaha, Connor's in, is it true that you and Connor are almost next door neighbors?
Yeah, I could go down. I'll be in his, do you want me to get up? I'll be at his place in 15 seconds.
Nah, we got a good flow going here, man.
Okay.
So,
we're in our bubble. It's not too, it's not like, you know, it's safe.
Yeah. So Nate, here's your softball question. I hope you're ready for it, man. You know, along those same lines as to, you know, 2011 was the last Bright Eyes record. A lot can happen over 9 years, you know, kids and marriages and whatever. What's different now that you're recording than when you last recorded the record?
Well, I did have a kid. I had a child, which is really great. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. She's 4 now. And I mean, for me personally, a big part of it was until I went out with Chili Peppers in 2016, you know, from that period of People's Key up until then, I guess it was more a matter of what didn't happen for me, which was I didn't really go on tour or anything. I was mostly like trying to be at home as much as possible. And my main focus was writing music for film. That's really all I wanted to be doing. I did a couple little tours here and there with M. Ward. I filled in for a friend with Iron and Wine, which is really fun for like, I mean, that was about 2 weeks, but mostly I wanted to be home doing that stuff. And Mike and I scored 2 films together, and I did a couple on my own, and that was really where my focus was. And I also worked on records, but you know, that's really what I want to be doing. And I don't know, that certainly, you know, shaped how I could approach making a record with these guys in a much different way for me personally than going about it like in People's Key days.
Sure.
So all of those things, being home, having a kid, creating a space where I could write and record on my own, that had a big change for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, and along the same line, and this is open for anybody that wants to answer this one. I mean, would you guys like to tour on the strength of this record, or are you going to play it like Steely Dan and just be a studio band at this point?
Benji, can I do it? Can I answer this?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Benji.
Yes, I mean, Cool Breeze, sorry.
Cool Breeze, take it away, Cool Breeze.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I hate to even speculate because, you know, I mean, but looking into a crystal ball, do you guys think 2021 you will be on the road?
Benji, can I take this one?
Go, Cool Breeze. Go.
Cool Breeze, you're up.
I think the plan is hopefully next summer. Like,
All right.
if all, you know, fingers crossed.
Yeah, man. My
crystal ball says something different. It's
What does
just
yours say?
it comes up.
Is the glass half full or is the glass half empty, Mo? You make up your mind right
it's
now.
It's half full. We'll see you 2021, summer 2021.
Okay. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You know,
I would love that to happen.
Yeah, me too. Because honestly, you guys are on my bucket list. I've never seen you, and I've got every one of your records. So I'm hoping you make it to Colorado. So come on.
Yeah,
and when you do, definitely.
Colorado's beautiful. And
it's awesome. We got to get you to Red Rocks.
Oh, yeah.
And along the same lines, you know, another free form question, whoever wants to take a stab at it. How weird is it releasing a record in a pandemic?
Cool Breeze, you're not.
I don't want this one.
And I guess
it's about as weird as going to, well, okay, it's not. Everything happening right now is so, I guess, unusual. And I think.
Do you know they just canceled the NBA? I just heard that.
Yeah.
No.
The NBA is boycotting, which is awesome. I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was just a game, but they're just like shutting down.
Yeah.
All the players are like, we're not going to do anything like after the Jacob Blake
Yeah,
situation. So they're just like done.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like, that's like, I love them so much. All the players.
Yeah.
I think it's so incredible.
I guess to whittle this question down just a hair, I mean, was the record ready to go before all of this happened, or is this something that you guys, since you had the free time on your hand, you could, all right.
Walcott, take it.
Got it.
Nate's got it. Go,
All right.
Nate, go.
We mastered this record in early February in
Okay.
Portland, Maine, with legendary mastering engineer Bob Ludwig. So Connor and I flew back from Maine in a Cessna. Long story. We won't get into it, but yeah.
There was a blizzard, and it was.
Yeah.
I was also there, but like I said,
Yeah. There was a Cessna involved.
it was before the pandemic, and
yeah, we got
sorry,
back.
Nate. There's your question.
It's my question. We got back early February. We had a gig. Our sort of kickoff was meant to be in Tokyo in like early mid-March. That was the first thing to kind of go away, to get canceled, and we were bummed about that. And that was just one show. And then basically the next 2 years was booked solid starting in May. And so, yeah, it's been quite an adjustment, and it's like they were saying, it's weird, but it's no weirder than all of the other absolutely bizarre, weird reality that we're dealing with right now. So
It's par for course considering. Yeah. I mean, if the NBA shutting down, your tour of Japan shutting down too. So
Exactly.
that makes sense. This is one thing I've been doing a lot of these Zoom interviews, and I'd like all three of you to answer individually. So we'll start with you, Cool Breeze. What are you doing to kill time during the pandemic? Are you Netflix binge watching? Are you learning how to cook? Picking up a foreign language? What have you picked up during the pandemic that you didn't do before?
Well, unfortunately, I feel like there's like two kinds of people, Benji, like in this pandemic. There's those who are like using the time well, and they're those that are just wasting away. And I'm more in the wasting away category, but no, I have watched a lot of movies. I been spending time with like my dogs and playing outside. I have been cooking, but yeah, I wish I could say I like learned Italian or something, or like got to be a really great chess player. But truth is, I really have been so depressed that I have like barely been able to do anything.
I can relate, man. So, all right, Mike, you're up. What have you been doing during the pandemic?
Well, well, like Nate was talking about before, we're actually working on a television series right now for the Stephen King book, an adaptation of the Stephen King book, The Stand. It's about a pandemic that kills most of the world, but no, it keeps us busy. I have taken more of an interest in my garden. I've been gardening every year ever since the last People's Keys tour. I've built a garden for like 8 years now, and now I don't know.
Yeah.
I got more into that, doing some yard stuff, and
That's beautiful.
yeah, and having my kids around more because this is their school now.
Yeah.
Not here in the studio, but over there.
It's funny. Israel Nash said the same thing. He goes, "I've never thought I'd be a school teacher before, but I'm teaching all my kids at home."
Yeah, I'm not a good school teacher. I'm working on it. This was their first week. They're all Omaha's public schools is all remote, so which I'm glad.
Hey, quick follow-up, and then I want you to answer the same follow-up, Nate.
Sure.
Now that you're doing this film score for The Stand, and we're actually in a pandemic, have you used the experience of what we're going through, or did the way you approached it, has it changed at all? I mean, is it still the same music, or are you doing things differently now that you've actually experienced a pandemic?
I feel like the music, or I'm sorry,
Go for it, Nate.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like the music for a show about a pandemic is going to be kind of what it is, whether you're in a pandemic or not.
Good point.
Probably.
Right.
The scene's kind of, the
Yeah.
direction of that kind of denotes the sort of direction of the music.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So, what have you been doing during your pandemic time, Nate?
Yeah, same thing. We've been working on this show. It's been keeping us really busy. It was going to be really an insane schedule, sort of being in and out of tour and working on this show. And so now we're just kind of focusing on that and talking to people about the record. And like I said, I have a 4-year-old. I don't know, that whole thing that I mentioned earlier about like how I really wanted to be kind of off the road after People Ski. That was kind of just that kind of all went out the window.
How's that feel now?
Well, it all went out the window when I went out with the Chili Peppers, which was sort of not really something I planned on, but a friend of mine called me about doing it in 2016 when my daughter was 1 month old. So that has, kept me in and out of town a lot during her life. So I don't know, one sort of minor silver lining to all of this is that I've been with her longer for like one chunk than I have in her whole life.
Good.
So
Nice.
How's the bearded dragon?
Yeah.
Don't ask.
Okay, sorry.
Well, she's not hearing. Monty's on.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
You could
So we
the
let
interview. So yeah.
Wait, did something happen? Did something happen to Mondi?
Yeah.
Really? He died?
Mondi, we got a little. Everybody collectively got a little bit lax with Mondi because Mondi became sort of like an inside-outside bearded dragon. My daughter, we got her a bearded dragon.
Right.
So Mondi got very sort of acclimated to our backyard.
He ran away?
I'm
I'm calling like lizard social services on you guys.
I think Mondi got eaten by a creature or something. But Aurora really wanted Mondi to have the freedom of an outside existence. Sort of like
You got to lay some boundaries down, man. You can't be like Mondi can't go outside.
Mondi might come back.
I hope so.
That's kind of the everyday like possibility, like Mondi might come back.
Other people have had this experience. We heard
Jesus might come back too, but I'm not holding my breath.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow or in an hour, 5 seconds from now.
Yeah.
Farmer Dave's bearded dragon once went missing for 10 days. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
All right.
That makes sense with Farmer Dave.
Benji, I bet you didn't expect that sort of conversation, but
Well, we could go old school on the radio, and there used to be the Lost Dog, newscast. We're on the internet, so if anybody in Los Angeles has seen Mondi the Bearded Dragon, bring it to your house.
like
Nate. So back to the record real quick, and then I'll end with kind of what hopefully is a fun question. A lot of this material, is this all new stuff that you've generated in the past year or so? Was any of this older material that you were able to let fester and simmer for a while and is finally ready to be shared with the world? Or is this stuff that maybe you were using for other projects and felt like it was better used as a Bright Eyes material? So, and anyone can answer that question.
We decided to make the record at the end of 2017, and then we started getting together in Omaha at our studio in the spring of 2018, and we would just do it in blocks, like get together for like 2 weeks, like Nate and I, or whatever. We'd come back from LA, we'd be here, and we just wrote all the songs together. And that was one big difference from our other records, because in the past I would like bring a lot of finished songs. But with this one, everyone was kind of creating ideas. I'd get like a chord progression from one of these guys and like try to come up with a vocal melody. And we were like in our studio, there's 3 rooms. There's like an A room, a B room, and a C room. Mm-hmm. Of course, Michael gets the A room because he's in charge. Nate gets the B room. And then old Cool Breeze is up in the attic in the C room. But no, we just so we spent 2 years making the record, but literally the first year was just composing the songs, writing the songs, making the demos. And then the second year, 2019, is when we brought in the band and started making the actual recordings that you hear on the album. So it was kind of a long process, but yeah, it was fun.
From everything I've heard, it's worth the wait. So very good stuff. So when I actually did my homework for this interview, usually I don't do that, but I thought you guys deserved a little show prep. And I'm going through and I'm looking at all the people that you guys have worked with. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Nate, you worked with U2 and the Glenn Miller Orchestra and blah, 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 blah. Conor, you were in Monsters of Folk and Better Oblivion Community Center. And Mike, like I said, you played with everybody on the Saddle Creek roster, for crying out loud. So looking at all those collaborations that you guys have done, is there anybody that you guys would love to work with that you just have never had the chance to?
That's a damn good question, Benji.
Well, I told you I did my homework, man.
Yeah. Dead or alive?
Let's go with alive.
Yeah, sure, alive.
Okay.
Alive.
Or Benji was gonna go with dead or alive.
I thought you meant the band. You know, you
No,
skipped right
Dead or
around.
alive?
I was talking about Bon Jovi, obviously.
That's one of dead or alive. I thought you were thinking about that, which is why I just went alive. The Kiss record.
I don't know. No. I mean, honestly, I could give you like a random answer, but no one really springs to mind. I think honestly, I think that's at least in my experience, it's like those things happen kind of, there's a weird like electricity or like the universe like puts you together. And so I mean, there's obviously tons of people I admire musically that I've never had a chance to work with, and I probably won't ever have a chance to work with. But maybe I'm like a hippie in this sense, but I sort of believe like if we're supposed to meet somewhere on the road, like we'll meet, or there'll be like a situation that makes sense. But I don't know. Is there anything for you guys? Can anyone pop some?
There is only Conor and Mike. They're the only people I want to
The most.
My wildest dreams have been realized. Nothing exists other than that.
Yeah, that's got to be a terrible feeling.
No, I mean, what Conor said, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. I don't know.
You never know. And then a month later, you're making a record with Tom Waits. I mean, if you think about it, you'll probably never happen. But then some things just end up happening, like Conor said, just organically. And those are the best.
I mean, I guess if like Bjork called me up and was like, "Come to Iceland tomorrow," it's like, I'd be on a plane, but I don't see that happening necessarily.
I randomly was going to mention Bjork because seriously, I've been listening to this record, the Vespertine record, a lot. It's a
great record.
There's this arranger who did all the orchestral arrangements on that record. His name is Vince Mendoza, and he's kind of comes more from the jazz world. And those arrangements on that record are like constantly a reference point for me, just a source of inspiration. They're just so brilliant. I love them so much, and it always gets me thinking, like, wow, it'd be incredible to do write some orchestra stuff for Bjork someday. I don't know. That goes through my mind sometimes. I'm like,
well, cool. That's a great answer.
Hey, Bjork, if Vince is busy,
Yeah. And I liked your Tom Waits answer too. When you come to Colorado, I'll tell you I've got several Tom Waits stories of me running into him, and they're much too long to share during this interview. So, and I want a Mondi update when you come to Colorado too. So
Mondi's fine. You guys don't need to worry about Mondi.
Okay.
Mondi's coming back.
All right. I'm willing to hang up, reward posters if you need me to.
Yeah, exactly. Can we send out like a what is that? AP?
Yeah, an all points bulletin. We'll do that. Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.
We'll get the EAS alert going. Well, that's all I got, guys. Is there anything that you would like to mention before we wrap this up?
I just want to thank you, Benji, for having us. It was lovely talking to you, my friend.
Yeah, that was a good time. I hope you
Yeah.
enjoyed it as much as I did. And like I said, you got to come to Colorado because I got to make sure I get Bright Eyes off my concert bucket list, okay?
Absolutely.
Love to
right.
be there.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a wonderful
right.
afternoon. Take care.
You too.
All
Take
right.
care.
Yep.
Cheers.
Hey,
Peace.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye
Bright
bye.
Eyes.
Okay.
All right. You
Thanks,
good, Harlan?
I need one more thing from you. After
Yeah,
it
okay.
pops up. Sorry. Yeah.
From me or from the band?
From the band.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
leaving then. All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
See
Good
ya.
one, Benji. Bye bye.